Alright, so this is a document with which you might be familiar. It was published by the Australian Public Service Commission in, I think, 2008. And this presentation in part responds to this document in three ways. One is that at the end of this document, the recommendation is that possible next steps includes the recommendation of increasing or further engagement with an understanding of theories of behaviour change. But additionally, my observation about this document is that it becomes better as it goes through. I don't really like the start. The start is about models of behaviour change. And to me, it reads like a shopping list of models. And it doesn't engage with the question of how models should be used and when they should be used. So when particular models should be used and how they should be used. And finally, my perception of this document, at least the bits that I don't like about this document, which is the start, focuses on ways to maximise effectiveness, or it's always talking about effectiveness, but it doesn't engage, I think, sufficiently with the question of how you balance effectiveness with an understanding of the appropriateness of particular goals and interventions. So we're not proposing, a North Korea model. There is a limit to what we jointly hold as appropriate in interventions. And so, okay, it's an extreme example. Obviously, we're not going to shift to a totalitarian model of government, but the example does at least show that effectiveness is not the only thing. So, models. There's a lot of them. This is going to be an abbreviated history. It's not a history of theories of behaviour, which is a really important point to make. It's just a potted history of models of behaviour change. It's not a history of interventions. It's not about evidence of what works. Don't worry if you can't see this. They're the intention of the individual ones. It's just to give you a sense of how many there are. And it's not about how behaviour change actually happens in societies or within organisations. Okay, just to start off, one thing that I think is important to distinguish between is models and theories. What are these things that we call models? And it's not like there's an established definition that is in circulation within, or that I can find at least. So I've come up with my own, which is not a massive departure from the rest of society. And the idea is that models are designed to enable predictions of the outcomes of the interventions. And the outcome is more important than the model itself, which is accepted as a simplification. Whereas theories are explanations of a mechanism of causation that can be supported by predictions. So you make hypotheses about the outcomes of the intervention, but the theory itself is what people really care about. It's more important than the experimental result. So it's a shift of emphasis. The theory itself is supposed to represent something that is true about the world, but there's not that expectation with models. They're intended as a simplification.